Always the corner to clip in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we have the Irvine Grand Prix. This is a brand new Criterium. It's 0.91 miles, 4-corner crit, all right-handers. Corner 3, pretty serious bump, but the rest of the course is super flat, super smooth, wide open roads. This is put on by these same promoters that do the CBR Series over in like LA proper, Los Angeles proper, for those of you that are not familiar with the SoCal area. This is in Irvine, California, obviously, and we've got pretty much all 4 lanes on a couple of the straightaways, and then the other 2 roadways, the side roadways, we've got 2 lanes all the way over to the median. So plenty of space for things to jockey around, get shuffled up, plenty of space to make moves. I, in my head, was thinking because of the course layout, it was not very likely that anything was going to get away, but that usually depends on whether or not the field is motivated to chase stuff. So this is the CAT 2-3. I will be posting the Pro 1-3 race later on, but we're starting with the CAT 2-3. So that's what we're looking at now, and you guys will see it's a small field, so we started out pretty slow. Nobody is really motivated to do any work or anything. I got in a decent warm-up, but you know what? Any opportunity to sit at the front of a race at very low tempo like this and get the legs, you know, the cobweb shaking out and everything like that, I'll take advantage of it. So I'm no stranger to the wind and felt like it was a good idea to get out here, get a little shake up in and get the legs primed and ready to rock for some actual racing. Obviously, this opens me up to an attack, but doing 240 watts, I should be able to respond no problem, and it's the first 2 minutes of the race, so I'm really not worried about anything going hard and getting away, especially anybody solo or onesie-twosies right off the bat. Now, what you guys will see here in a few minutes is I want to kind of test the field and see what that level of motivation really looks like. So let's jump ahead to that and see what my decisions look like early on and kind of what I was thinking and how the field reacts to everything. So we have just passed the start-finish line, and that was basically 1 lap down. We're not deep into this race whatsoever, but as you can see, everybody's already in the I'm not going to pull mode, and we're not going very fast. We're barely doing 25 miles an hour. I'm doing 90 watts, and so I slot over to the left here, and I'm kind of looking around. The wind wasn't really a factor yet, just because it was early in the day, so we had like an 11:20 a.m. start. The wind definitely was a factor later in the day in the pro race, but for now, it's totally chilling. So Matt Rios with the Vogue, he actually kind of rolls off the front. I was like, you know what? Let's test the legs. Let's see how we're feeling. Get kind of the general idea of what today's going to look like. And I winded up, put in 750 watts. Didn't go too crazy, but it was time to get things strung out and just kind of see if everybody was motivated to chase today. And especially early on, maybe they'll let you slip away. I've got a Hit Squad rider with me. He is on my wheel. And Hit Squad had 3 riders in the field, so I think that they were probably the best represented. There were a couple other squads. Go Fast in purple, you will see. They do a lot of chasing late in the race, but I won't spoil that one for you. So nonetheless, I just kind of wanted to, you know, put some feelers out there, see what the field was feeling, and early on, I just kind of got the, you know, the notion in my head that this was not going to be a breakaway day, and so I was going to ride this like it was coming to a field sprint, and, you know, if a break went and I wasn't in it, I was just going to have to accept that today. So in this race for our squad, it's just myself and Adam, and neither of us really had any like concrete plans or anything. I've dropped back to hang out back here with the Hit Squad boys. Their sprinter is directly in front of me to the left. That is Nick Trejo. He has been on an absolute tear all season long, winning field sprints. So if he's hanging out in the back and he's not motivated to be up there in the front, my imagination tells me that, you know, his guys are going to be working for him to bring stuff back. Hitch, that's my boy. He's another sprinter. He's also hanging out in the back here. So kind of all the sprinty types, and the guys that are usually there at the finish are sitting towards the back right now. So nothing too crazy is going on up at the front. Nothing too threatening. Adam's up there drilling it, though, making people hurt. So much appreciated out of Adam doing the early work for me. But let's pop ahead here and see how things start to shake out once racing really gets underway. All right, popping forward here, as you guys will notice, the pace is a little bit hotter. We're doing 29, 30 miles an hour, and attacks are actually starting to fly a little bit here. People are really giving it the beans, giving it the business. This might be a preem lap, I'm not 100% sure, but my goal here is just to follow wheels and maintain my momentum. I don't want to do any of the work, really, and if there are gaps that open up in the field or whatever, I'm going to let people slot in and take over. And this hit squad rider, he had been working early on to bring things back, and I didn't really want to do it myself, so I of course am going to let him in and just try and conserve a little bit of energy here. So you can see there are a few riders up the road, and I'm just going to surf wheels and follow this chase effort. I think the Lava guys are also chasing. I also believe that they wanted this to come to a sprint, so them, hit squad, go fast are all doing a lot of work, which means it's not on me to do it. So I won't actually initiate anything in this race, really. The whole goal for me is to go with the threatening moves, and as it gets later in the race, obviously some moves can be more threatening, but at the same time, after seeing the motivation levels of the field, I'm not really sure anything's gonna stick. This is where things start to get a little bit more interesting, guys. So we've brought back one of the earlier moves, and we're kind of in an interesting position here. The SoCal bike racing, the SoCalCycling.com rider, he just goes, and Yogi in front of me with stage 2 is definitely somebody that we're watching out for in this race. Just so happened, Adam was on the front right when we were able to do this, so I was hoping that he would be able to hold up traffic behind us and let us roll. So you can see there, the SoCal Cycling rider is still rolling. Yogi flicks and has me come through. I rail that corner, pedal through nicely, still doing 400 something watts to get across to this rider, and I'm thinking this might work out nicely. I realize though that Yogi has kind of gone back to the field, and that's a little worrisome because I did want his like additional power profile and firepower in this 3-man move. So we're actually working here. The SoCal Cycling rider starts to let up a little bit, but that's fine. We're still moving pretty good. But I look back out of this corner, you see my head, boom, look back right there, and sure enough, I saw that we were attached. So I wanted to kick it, I wanted to keep rolling and get something going, but dude, just everybody jumped like crazy on that one. And you can see main hit squad rider, Nick Trejo, he's sitting directly behind me, so he followed that move as well. Makes sense. I feel like that was probably one of the more threatening things of the day, considering it's more mid-race right now. But nonetheless, we got brought back, and that was kind of like the moment where I decided, all right, I'm going to drop all the way to the back of this thing. I'm going to hang out in the pack, conserve as much energy as possible, and if it goes, it goes. At this point, it's game over. I'm going to hope that Go Fast, Hit Squad, Laba, all these teams that have 3 or 4 riders, I'm going to hope that they do the work to bring them back. And just like clockwork, that's exactly what happens. So let's jump forward here and see how the next move shakes out. So the next semi-threatening move actually is a solo move, and this comes out of another super strong rider who has just been like tearing through the category. So you can see I'm hanging out, I'm sitting in the back, but we all know what needs to be done here. We want to keep it just fast enough that we tire that rider out. So listen to what I say.
We gotta let Brandon die out there alone.
So the general idea here is that when you have a solo rider off the front like that is super strong, you want to keep them within striking distance like the whole time. Let them dangle, and hopefully that's one person that you can wear out that's not going to be there at the finish, because he's going to be competitive in pretty much every finish, so you need to let him stay out there and get tired. So the chase is on, but the chase is just hard enough to keep him like 10 seconds off the front, like within eyesight. But at the same time there, the craziest thing happened. We were coming through that corner 3, and I think you heard all the chitter chatter in the back. I straight up almost ate it so hard. My bike flew like completely sideways, and the GoPro downplays it because of like hyper smooth and everything, but dude, I was very sketched out. I almost solo crashed myself out of the race. So I was kind of timid from then on about, you know, pedaling hard through corners, and it definitely it affects me in the pro race later on, and probably a little bit the rest of this race. And speaking of that affecting me the rest of this race, let's go ahead and jump ahead to the finish and see how it all shakes out. I had been resting back here, having a good time, you know, not really hurting. My heart rate was relatively kept in check the whole race, but nonetheless, my cornering is going to cost me, and you guys are going to see why. So, coming down the start-finish straight, this is the last 2 laps of the race, and as you guys already know, I'm thinking in my head here, I'm like, all right, it is time. I can no longer be moving backwards. It's a small field, so it's a little bit deceiving. You can get very close to the front or too close to the front very quickly because the field is so small. But at this point, I know if I'm not moving forward, I'm gonna be moving backward, and that's a problem. The people I've got my eyes on here are Yogi on my left, that I just passed in the Stage 2 kit, and the Hit Squad boys who are lining up right here in the red kits just on the left up ahead. So I know that that's kind of the train I'm looking for, and I want to stay on that coming in these last couple laps. Now, my general idea here is that at some point they're gonna accelerate, and then I want to follow that move forward. So things are getting dicey, as you guys saw in that corner already. People are starting to do the swervy swerve, get a little wild, but I didn't lose the wheels. I'm still right here. I did have to pop at like 800 watts just to maintain my position there, but we're moving up. Yogi's doing his thing. He's getting in position. I know he's going to try and contest. Nick, like I said before, he's going to be a contender in this, and he's sitting like, you know, 5th wheel on the outside, and obviously there's, you know, another train on the inside, but the wind here, as it has developed, is coming from right to left, so I'm trying to stay on the protected side here, and I'm doing just that, doing like 100 watts. And Kyle, Team 6 Kyle, my evil twin, he starts moving up on the left as well. I get kind of sandwiched there. Now these gaps are a lot smaller than they look on the GoPro, guys, but at this point Kyle kind of gets up there, slots in, gets that wheel from me, and I'm fine with that. I still don't think I'm too close to the front just yet, and I don't want to be any further in front than this because it is a 0.91 mile course and all the hitters are back here with me. So I'm just trying to maintain position. I'm getting real wide. I'll pedal a little bit in the wind just to sort of keep the pace and sort of not lose position. So right there you'll see Rider 209, Stage 2. That's Yogi again. He slots in there on Kyle's wheel, and I'm perfectly fine with jumping in on his. Now, the Elevate Rider right there pushes Yogi wide, makes things a little dicey. I have to do a big effort just because I got pushed wide out of the corner also, but this is a good spot, man. All the people that are going to be involved in any sprint finish are kind of right here in the pocket, and I'm just really thinking about, okay, how am I going to move up? When is this Hit Squad train going to move up? They're on the left. I'm waiting for all of that to sort of unfold. Now, the Go Fast boys are on the front right now, and they're trying to keep this thing fast, and I'm really just, you know, counting on that to happen. The problem is here is like we're doing watts out of every corner. So last lap right now, bell lap, I see a little bit of gap here. I try and move in. I can't quite get it. I'm just sitting in the wind doing 500 watts. So I'm like, ah, shoot. And this is where I'm scared of the corner. You know, I can't sugarcoat it. I was scared. The bump scared me earlier. Got through it smoothly, but you can see I let off the gas. And Hitch comes underneath me and sort of gaps me here, and then I have to do 1,000 watts to get on the wheel. So luckily I do get on the wheel, but realistically, if I would have followed that wheel better, I could have been slotting up there where Kyle is at. Kyle's jumping right now. If I would have been on his wheel, that would have been prime time. I should have accelerated there into the gap, and this is just a lesson in being assertive, man. I was not assertive. I should have been probably 3 wheels in front of where I'm at right now. I get up, I stomp pedals. Yogi almost gets his front wheel chopped there by these guys galloping in front of him. And then boom, come across the line for 9th place. Not a super stellar result, but there were a lot of things I think I could have done differently. So I just want to run through kind of that last corner one more time. The last 2 corners, actually, this is where I kind of make the fatal error. So if I would have just gone full gas and kept things tight right there, I would have been on the Stage 2 rider's wheel right now. And you can see how much acceleration I do and catch up here. If realistically Hitch would have gone around me, I could have then been on his wheel right now. And so when Kyle starts galloping, this is a key moment. I would have been on his wheel, and look at this acceleration. I get pushed out. I should have been 1, 2, 3 wheels in front of where I'm at. And with the power I'm doing and the amount of distance that I'm gaining, this was actually podium contention. Now, of course, I always say, guys, like, obviously you did what you did in the race and it is what it is, but this is a huge lesson learned for me in you know, just in assertiveness and maintaining my position, taking the corners harder at the end of the race, not backing out of the spots I'm in. So that was a huge one for, you know, my mental ability. And, you know, now that I've seen this, I think going forward, obviously, I just need to get more reps getting involved in the field sprints like this. And yeah, riding with no teammates in front of you is a little bit weird. You don't have anybody to tow you up there. So with no lead out train, you're kind of doing it on your own. You have to find your own lead out train. And, you know, I was unsuccessful in doing that today, but hey, top 10 finish. This is like, I don't know, second or third top 10 finish on the year. So starting to feel good, getting closer. I think it's coming, guys. And honestly, I was a half-second decision away from a podium in this race. So next time, we're going to give it another go. Next season, we're gearing up for 2023, but there's still a pro race for you guys to check out. Stay tuned for that later this week. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to the channel.